Guys, what is up? It is Mike D here with Second Form Strength. I'm taking off my shoes and then I'm going to get into this chat. As you can see by the title, I'm going to take off my shoes while I'm talking. As you can see by the title, you are not a master plate spinner. And that's okay, because I'm not either. But boy, have I tried. And I'm sure you have too. I just wanted to make this video today because I was thinking about this after I finished my gym session just before, that the times in my life where I've felt the most on top of things and like I was in control was really when I was just focusing on nailing down one specific thing. And you might be the same, and I'll give you an example. So if you go back on my channel, you will see that I did a challenge I started it in August of 2025, end of August. Or actually, it might have been the end of October. I think it was the end of October, right? You can go back and look anyway, but it was around that time. And I was really not happy with where I was in general. I wasn't happy with where my body was at. I wasn't happy with where my porn habits were. I'm still not happy with that, but getting better. And this kind of ties into what this whole video is about. But mainly, I really was not happy with my body and my eating habits. I've had high cholesterol since I've been young. It's more of a genetic thing. And I've gotten checks, blood tests and all this. And I'm on medications now, which is helping with it. Like, it's fine now. But there was a period, and to be honest, I also think my cholesterol is mainly because I did eat like absolute crap when I was younger. And like I'm sure a lot of us do, it was just I was a very picky eater when I was young. So, I would only like to eat what I liked, and what I liked was usually fucking kid food, like not food that's good for your body really. So I did have a lot of health problems when I was younger. I have like psoriasis now currently. I've had that since I was 9. So needless to say, I've had some health issues. But for the most part, I've been able to manage it. And, since that time, got on the medications, we did all the hard imaging, everything turned out fine. But, it's still something that I need to monitor. However, I'm also a person that is of the mindset that a lot of shit that, especially, and I've realized this now since I got my body in check, and this is just a little side note and I will get back, is that I'm the type of person that realized that a lot of stuff you can actually fix just by eating well and focusing on your body. You don't need to take medications and all this stuff. In my case, for my genetics, with the cholesterol, I don't like statins or something. Okay, I will take, but I really think a lot of stuff isn't even necessary, and I can even see a future where I might be weaning off those too. So needless to say, going back to what I was saying, I've had these health problems, and the obesity doesn't run in my family. We're definitely big. We're all big. We're all over 6 foot in general. We're just big people. But, my brother's quite heavy. He's like 140, 150. I've got another brother who's about 150 kilos. So like pretty big fellas. And growing up, I was always the smallest, but still I was chubby. I was very chubby. And I just got to a point pretty much, and I'm sure all of you can relate to this, no matter who you are, is that the person I saw in my head did not match who was in my physical. Like the person I wanted to be in my head, if I was really honest with myself, the 2.0 version of me, I just didn't see it reflected. Physically, it just wasn't there. And that silently was killing me inside. And, I felt kind of self-conscious saying it, because then people would look at me vain, because, to everyone else, maybe I was I was average, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying inherently there's not anything wrong with being average or having an average body or being overweight. I mean, there is health things wrong with it. That's just, non-negotiable. But I'm not saying there's anything, like, I'm not judging you, okay? In a negative way. I probably am judging you just because I'm a human and I can't help it, but I'm consciously not trying to be negative when I say this. But there are just a lot of people who are okay with being that. And if you are okay, then that's fine. But I suspect there are a lot of people that aren't okay and just cannot be fucked changing. And I was one of those people. You know, I really, if I was honest with myself, I knew I could get myself, like, you know, it's just something I always wanted was to get like 6-pack lean, like to get really, you know, shredded. So, you know, I went through a period where I was like eating Maccas all the time. My weight went up to about, I'm about 6'2". My weight went up to about 102 kilos, right? And I just got to the point where I was like, no, I can't do this anymore. I was smoking cigarettes too, which I wasn't happy with, you know, and I just, yeah, cigarettes was something that I took up where it was like, you know, I've been a weed smoker. That's fine. I don't mind that if it's just that. But when it gets into the tobacco and all that too, and especially with the amount I was smoking, you know, even 10 cigarettes a day at some points, and I'd picked it back up after quitting it for quite a long time. And this was where like the rubber kind of met the road. And I said, I picked back up smoking. I was working a job I really hated. I was overweight. You can go back and look at the previous videos. You can see, like I didn't document day by day, but you know, I think I did like 30-day updates. And then, because all in all, it was about it was a 6-month process to get myself. So pretty much I went from 102 kilos down to, I think on my lightest, I was about 80.5 kilos. So I lost about 22 kilos, mainly fat. And I at least was going to the gym, but my diet was absolutely shit. Like I was lifting, but I didn't really do cardio, nothing like that. And I didn't really have a routine with my lifting. I didn't track my weights. I didn't track my lifts, didn't track my weight, none of that. But I got serious and I just said, enough's enough. You know, I'm tired because I was trying, and this is what I'm going to get into with the spinning plates. I was trying to spin plates in my life, my whole life. It was me trying to, you know, like all of us do. I think we all try to, we have an ideal version of ourselves and we have an ideal way that our relationships are and everything like this. And we almost get so excited about that. And I think it's really worse with social media because I think back in the day before all that stuff existed, you just were more of an authentic version of yourself because you literally didn't have as many people to compare yourself to, right? Like they just weren't around. You had whoever was in your circle who you saw in person, you know, and that was it. You know, maybe, you know, when they had TVs and stuff, whoever you saw on TV, but that was it. And you had scheduled, it wasn't like you're getting bombarded like we are now. Like every second of every day, it's notifications. It's, unless you turn notifications off like I have. But like social media is just video after video of comparison of all these ideas of, I mean, even YouTube, even, you know, watching these videos, I would say YouTube is the best out of all of them because you can actually learn stuff. But I've done it before. I still do it. I still catch myself doing it. We can go down rabbit holes of just absorbing so much information but outputting hardly any of it, right? And I think we all get caught in that trap. And I know I was caught in that trap to the point where I was just like, it's too much. I can't do anything. Fuck it all. And that's when I started spiraling. That's when the cigarettes started. That's when the fast food. That's when I wasn't really watching my weight as much. All of that stuff just came to a head, right? And I just said, like, this is fucked. Like, if I keep trying to spin all these plates, because I was going to the gym, but then I wasn't watching my diet. And then I did have periods of like a month where I would get okay, but then something would happen. I'd have a porn binge or something and feel bad about myself, and then, because this is another thing, porn's another one of them, guys. I'm telling you, like, you add that into the mix, constantly getting your dopamine up, constantly seeing chicks. Like, I have a really bad cam addiction. I've had one for a while, since I was in 17. And it's something that, you know, still gets me from time to time. And it's a lot better now, but it used to be a point of, like, all the time. And even now, like, I'm trying to completely get rid of it. I've had a period of like, I think I went over a year without any of that stuff. But man, it's hard. Like, I'm sure some of you guys can relate. It's just lust as a dude, I honestly think, and this comes into what I'm saying with the spinning plates, right? I think my next thing is definitely beating lust, and I'm going to try to document like some of the videos here on this channel with what I go through. You know, I've had like one video I did before when I was on a pretty good streak. I was on like a 20, I don't know, I wasn't really counting, but it was definitely over 20-day streak of no fat. Just so you know, no fat means no coming, no shooting loads. So I was on a pretty good streak, but you know, after that, it just I relapsed, and you know, I feel fucking a bit gay even saying relapse, but it's true. Like I went. I look at it more as like an energy thing, right? Like I have heaps of energy naturally, and some of you guys might be the same, right? But for me, it is way too much of a distraction. The porn, like it always has been. It comes from a place of insecurity, and especially like any of us, if we got partners or whatever, like watching that stuff, it's not a good thing to do. You know, and I've had ones in the past where I've even gone to like massage places and stuff. Like, I know I'm not the only dude that does this. A lot of us do. I know, you know, and it just sucks because I feel like men are talking about this stuff more, but it's one of those things that I really think is not hammered home enough that you need as a dude to get your lust under control. And I'm saying this as someone that actively does not have it under control. The times that I have got it under control, I've noticed, like I was going to mention, I did a year, and that was also a year without any jerking off to literally only my partner. You know, when we would, you know, I won't say it on you. I don't know if I can. I've probably already said shit that's going to get this demonetized. It won't even get monetized, but I don't know if the reach does. But whatever. Like, you know, when we would elope, that's fine. But other than that, I wasn't doing it, and I wasn't watching any porn and none of that stuff. And that was for Jesus, probably over a year, legit. Not like, you know. And what I realized with that is I wasn't. This is all a long spiel to say I wasn't spinning plates at that point in my life when I had it under that control, because I was just focused on that. At that time, I was dating my girlfriend. We met, I think during this was like a year after we met. And so I was actively focused on building the relationship with her. And I was also doing Muay Thai at that time. So I had some outlets, but they weren't like active demons I was trying to purge from my system, if I can say it that way. Because I do really believe they're like, not to get spiritual, not in this way, but like energy demons, if you will. You know, lust, porn, all that stuff, it really drains you. And because I was getting an outlet with the Muay Thai and everything like this, but combined with, I had a real focus on not going to that campsite. Like I had a real focus on, no, it's not good. I don't want to do it because I want to build this relationship. But like everything, guys, like this stuff falls behind. You know, you get in a relationship, all this stuff happens, and then things slip and you go back to the porn and all that kind of stuff. And it's just, it's never a good thing when it's got its claws in you like that, when it's something that you cannot just say no to. And we know consciously in like afterwards we feel like shit. Like it's not the same as when you complete, like if you're an artist, if you complete an art project and sell it to a customer or whatever, if you've got a small business and you make a sale, anything you create and you get something out of. Whereas you're not creating when you do that shit, you're just releasing. And yeah, I really think so. For me, I was just focused on spinning that plate. I wasn't trying to, I think at that time, a year before, I'd already quit cigarettes. So I'd already focused on the cigarettes before that. And it was a pattern that I realized that now was getting repeated with the body transformation, because I did successfully get down to 80 kilo. I got to about 11% body fat. Abs ripped, everything. I've got like on the thumbnails photos of the comparison. of how much fat I lost. And, I was really proud. Everyone was, and everything improved in my life. I ended up quitting my job, which was actually what led me to start putting more videos on this channel. That's what this all kind of led to me posting more, and I know many people don't watch it, but still, it got me out of that shell and it got me into this place. And I really, at that point, I'll be honest, I was still smoking cigarettes through that whole thing. And this is what I want to go on with. And I think I wasn't really actively watching my porn consumption either, but I literally just said to myself, I really want to get this one thing done. I don't care about the other shit. Because my approach before that was, no, I can't do the other shit either. And then I just would do all of it. So I said, no, I'll let myself do the other shit. I'll let myself smoke and still do my cardio and everything. I know people are going to say it's nuts, but just listen to what I'm saying, because I've kept that transformation up. I've put on maybe a few kilos after getting to the 10%, because it's not really sustainable to stay. You can, but I've gotten up to probably about 15-ish% now. But I will do a cut. But this is still in the best shape I've been in. I'm 31, I'm nearly 32. The best shape I've ever been in, and it was all from just focusing on spinning the one plate. Like I said, I didn't focus on getting rid of the other vices and things that I didn't like about myself. I just actively said, I really don't like this part of my physical appearance. And in doing that, it has now had a domino effect where I've been having more active streaks with the porn. This is a thing too. It's not always going to be perfect, but you need to consistently try to improve each time and learn from your mistakes. And that is really what it's about. It's about learning from your mistakes, and also realizing that in that, at least for me personally, maybe some people can spin it, but really think about it. Think about it in actuality of plate spinners. A master plate spinner did not become that way from the get-go, whoosh, doing all the plates. They learn to spin one really, really well. Then they learn to spin two really, really well. But it's a lot easier to spin the second one once this one, think of this one, it's already on autopilot, and then the second one, autopilot. So you got to think of the same way with getting over certain vices and addictions. Don't try to focus on being a master plate spinner, because you're not, right? Just focus on spinning one plate really, really well. For me, initially that plate was the body transformation, which I got. And now it's shifting over to lust. I don't know what your particular one is. Maybe it's like mine, you focus more on beating lust. Maybe you want to focus more on being a better person, repairing relationships. Maybe you've been abusive in the past. I'm not going to judge anybody. We've all done things in the past that we're not proud of. But what's important is that we're focusing on getting better and learning from it. It's the people that don't learn that are no hopes, right? Because they just refuse. There's ego there. You need to dissolve the ego and just say, look, I'm not a master. I cannot spin every plate at once. But I'm committed to continuing to try no matter how many plates I break. Hopefully they're cheap plates. And so I would just urge you to think that way. Don't beat yourself up right now if you're trying to do too much and realizing that everything's breaking around you. It's just because you have to focus on spinning that one plate really, really well. Then you add another. And then you add another, right? And look, sometimes, even if you're a master plate spinner, every now and again, all the plates fall. But the difference between the masters and the apprentices is that the masters never stopped giving up. They kept going. So they probably had many times where all four plates, but this is why they're masters. This is why they're able to perform so consistently, and people admire them for their skill. And it can be the same way with you. You can admire yourself and build the trust in yourself for your ability and tolerance to keep spinning those plates no matter what life throws at you. But realizing that the key is to just, when all four go back down, or you got two and then one, whatever happens, okay? One goes back up, it keeps going back. You've got to realize that once you've got that one, that's momentum, and everything else will flow with it, and things will get better. And don't measure your life by maybe someone else's plate spinning ability. Measure it by your own and how much you've progressed from apprentice to eventual master. So, I don't know. I hope that made some sense. Yeah, I just like that concept, and I thought I'd make a video with it. I did write down some stuff, but I didn't actually need it, which is great. But yeah, if you want to see some more videos like this, I will be putting, you know, my thoughts out as I'm actively trying, like I said at the moment, to conquer my lust. So fellas, join along. Ladies, if you're trying to conquer your lust, follow along too. Yeah, and let's get it. Peace.